You know what? Let's try one without it. Actually, maybe put it back on. No, take it off. Take it off. Take it off.
Hey.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Oh, we're doing like a bit. You know?
Oh, you're doing a bit.
Yeah.
What's the bit?
It's like a Spider-Man thing, you know, because Venom.
Because Venom.
Because Venom, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Did you just come in here with like half a Spider-Man mask and kind of hope a bit would appear, or?
Well, I mean, nobody's gonna.
What do you think of the bit?
I mean, I'd rather not.
She'd rather not.
I mean, who's gonna want to watch a Spider-Man thing without Spider-Man in it? Like, that's not.
Are we even allowed to show Spider-Man? Like, is that even legal?
I mean, I talked to the guys downstairs. They said it was cool if I did that.
Yeah, they said you couldn't do it.
What? I mean, I wrote like 7 pages for the Spider-Man thing. I don't see what the.
Look, man, I don't care. You're gonna have to figure it out.
Oh my fucking god. What the fuck is that?
It's a pumpkin. You know, for Halloween.
Halloween. That's a good bit.
You can't just have it be Halloween and like make that a bit.
And this is any better?
I mean, is this show bad? Like, bad?
No, I mean, of course not. It's not. It's not. Look, is this show like bad?
Look, even if it is, somebody's gonna watch it.
Again, like, who's gonna want to do that? Welcome to StubTown. I'm one of your hosts, Brad Weber. And today, joining me is the wonderful, the illustrious, the infallible
Aaron Clausen.
And today we're talking about Venom. Aaron, what did you think of Venom?
Well, it's a bad movie. It's a bad movie, but it's like one of those just like so good. It's so bad, it's so good. I've seen a lot of people like, describe it. It's like a 2004 superhero movie, and it's really bad, but it's really good.
Like, it does feel like there's a lot of it, and you're like, how did any of this get made? You know, like there.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like, there are a lot of scenes in it where I'm like, I don't believe that I'm seeing this movie right now.
Like somebody like had to sneak that one in by the producers. Like, there's no way the producers were just like, yeah, this is perfectly acceptable.
I mean, they weren't. They cut 40 minutes out of the film.
That's true. They did. But yeah, it's a bad movie, but it's really just super entertaining.
Like, the first 20 minutes are probably the most boring movie you've ever seen in your entire life. But
No.
like, after Venom shows up, like, it becomes just like, I laughed probably every scene. Like, I was legitimately
for
entertained.
Sure. You get 15 minutes in and you kind of just want to die, and then 5 minutes later it gets real good. It gets going.
Before we go any further, I just want to like clarify how this is going to go. We're going to talk about some stuff without spoilers, and when we move into spoiler mode, I will make it very clear as to when that has happened.
So, what were some of the things you liked about Venom, non-spoiler wise,
I mean,
or didn't like?
so like starting with like, I guess stuff I didn't like the technical stuff, like the technical side of stuff, you know, like the way it was shot and the way it was edited.
It's super 2004 superhero movie. Think Nick Cage's Ghost Rider when you're coming into like how it's shot. The visual effects are way better.
Yeah, it's just like an ugly movie, and it's badly edited, and it sucks to listen to and look at.
Yeah, the score is really bad too.
The score's really bad.
The score's really loud. It's really repetitive. It's really rock music-y and doesn't fit.
Honestly, when I think about the score, I can't really think about anything. You know, like I don't have any recollection of any music from that movie.
No, I just remember it being bad. So there's a lot of bad, but it's still a movie I would recommend.
Speaking of like score, a very special artist did a song for it. His name is Eminem, Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, dude, Eminem did the like title track for it.
And it's really bad. I mean, Eminem's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different review. I thought it's okay. It's his recovery album stuff, and then it hits the chorus. And then it hits the sweet spot. That chorus is real bad.
For this song, we're gonna bring in a specialist. If we could get him, can we get our guy? Okay. Okay.
So specialist isn't here yet. That's what we're saying.
What do you want to talk about now then?
Okay, so it's a terrible movie, is the thing. Yet somehow, like, its Rotten Tomato score is somewhere in the like real rottens, but its fan score is like somewhere in the 80s, something like that. So it's obviously a liked movie, even though technically it's terrible. It's still a super entertaining one, and there's a reason it made like $200 million its opening weekend.
I think that's like totally like people talk about like superhero movies, right? And they're like, oh, I'm so tired of them, and I don't agree with that. I really like superhero movies because I'm like a white dude, and like
I also like movies a lot.
So I really like superhero movies, but then like something like Venom comes out where it like proves their point in a way where it's like, oh, this movie's really garbage.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it. Like this movie and the Oscar-winning Suicide Squad, you know, like they're really bad, but people love them. They just fucking eat them up.
Forgot that movie won an Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, we got a guy.
So we're gonna go ahead and
So if you just want to put these bad boys on.
essentially, what if you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Cornelius Jackwall. I'm a music specialist from Cambridge Analytica. Sorry I was late. I was just taking a shower in the bathroom. Yeah, so I have yet to hear this track, but I've heard various great reviews about it, and I'm extremely excited
So
to just dive in.
for copyright reasons, we can't play the track. We can't play the track for you.
So if you want to hit play on
With
like
us.
on something your listening device as we do this, then that's fine. But other than that, we're just gonna hear his first impressions.
So I'm gonna start you at the beginning, and right after the chorus, when we'll probably stop, you'll know it's the chorus because he says the word Venom a lot.
Okay. I'm a really big Slim Shady fan, you know. Stand up. Here we go.
Just like give us your thoughts as you.
Well, we have a definitely a very crunchy opening. I would say very robust with flavor of different strings, and a very impactful chorus. Ooh, oh man. Okay. Now you see we have a lot of clashing here.
I can make it louder. I could.
No, please.
Did you get to the chorus?
Slim Shady needs to sit down. That was possibly one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. And I've been to an Imagine Dragons concert. Never invite me back here ever again. That was...
Thank you to Dr. Cornelius Jackwall for.
What part is he at?
I don't know. Do you want to hear it?
Ah, yes. Classic Eminem talking about Dr. Dre in the title track for a superhero movie. So Venom, the underdog success story, making $200 million its opening weekend.
As I was saying, like it proves like the point. Like superhero movies are garbage, and they make like a ton of fucking money.
Yeah.
And like, I feel bad. Like I'm like I love Avengers, and everybody's like you're stupid, and then
I love Avengers.
And then this makes $1 billion, and it proves their point.
I think currently, after it's been out for a couple weeks now, I think it's like over half $500 million.
You know, like
it's climbing.
And the problem is, I'm okay with that. I guess I'm also proving that shitty point in saying like this movie's so much fun to watch that like
I want a sequel. I want a sequel.
I almost would go see it again. I'm telling you that.
I have seen it twice, and I would see it a third time just to see Tom Hardy as Venom.
He is like Tom Hardy's performance in this movie. No spoilers, first of all, is like so much fun to watch. He has like this weird voice where he almost like slurs every word.
Yeah.
And he just sounds like he threw up 10 minutes before he shot every take.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly how I've never seen Tom, like when you think of Tom Hardy acting, you kind of think of like Mad Max Fury Road, He's like Dark Knight Rises. He's like super closed off, doesn't have a ton of lines, but acts a lot with like his personality, and he's like a tough guy sort of thing. Here is the exact opposite. He's like bumbling almost, and just talks a ton, and just has the most ridiculous lines you could think of.
Yeah, he's just like is like sweaty the whole time.
And it's like he's having fun with it. You can tell like he's sweaty because he's having fun.
Eating like
He's
raw
moving a
tater
lot.
tots and
Yeah.
okay, spoiler mode, right? Spoilers now from the rest.
First, no spoilers was like, would you recommend seeing?
Yeah,
this?
yeah, totally. I see this movie like
In theaters.
Yeah, maybe like not so. Okay, see this movie in the way that would make you enjoy a bad movie the most, right?
Yeah, if that's sitting at home
Whatever.
with like a beverage.
Show up 20 minutes late for the thing, right? Like, don't.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes are bad.
Yeah.
They're bad. Oh, what'd you think of the other performances in this film before we jump aboard that?
Absolutely forgettable.
Oh yeah. They got Michelle Williams in there somehow. She plays the love interest. Then they have Riz Ahmed, and he plays
A scientist.
a scientist.
An evil scientist who, like, it just sucks. Like, he just sucks. I'm gonna be real.
He felt like a villain that belongs in like a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
That's probably, like, what I would best describe the first 20 minutes of that movie as like the tone and the stylings of the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movie.
I would agree, yes.
And then, okay, spoilers. It turns into a movie where Tom Hardy climbs into a lobster tank and eats lobsters.
So there's like, before he actually becomes Venom, there's a scene where he knows he's sick, knows he's got a parasite, so he goes to like his ex-fiance Michelle Williams and her new BF, and they're having a fancy dinner. He comes in, he's like, man, I feel really sick, and then just starts like eating everything because he has venom inside him and wants to eat.
And he improvised this scene where he, like, climbs into this lobster tank and just starts...
Like, the fancy lobster tanks and stuff, like literally just sits right in it and just has the time of his life.
And like, Venom eats a lot of people's heads in this movie.
It's true.
And, like...
He also eats a lobster's head out of the tank.
And it's so weird because Tom Hardy will come out of being Venom and be like, oh man, I just ate that guy's head. Like, that's all you get from it.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
There's definitely not a head in his stomach. I mean, it's probably been absorbed by the symbiote. That is something I'm actually really happy about. So in the initial trailers for the movie, everybody said the word symbiote. They have redubbed it all. It's only symbiote now.
Thank God. Thank God. The nerds won't be angry anymore.
I'm not angry anymore. No, there's a good bit where he's like looking at something, he wants to eat it, and then like he does, and he spits it out. He's like, this is dead.
It's just...
Because he wants to eat something that's alive.
Like, the whole movie is based around Tom Hardy walking around as a sweaty man and just, like, fucking with people.
Yeah.
And, like, they just let him go. Like,
Yeah.
they just let him do it.
Another great thing is that they totally nixed any sort of comic origin story. It's all like new. Venom's got a weird personality where he's like kind of sort of in love with Eddie Brock because they're both losers.
Yeah, because they make out in the movie.
Oh yeah, it's gonna win the MTV award for Best Kiss because
Venom makes out with Tom Hardy in that movie.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
So Venom gets like lost out of Eddie at one point in the movie, and then latches on to Michelle Williams' character, who I don't even remember the name of.
Amy.
Michelle Williams becomes Lady Venom and shows up in the middle of the woods to make out with Eddie Brock, and then the Venom transfers over onto Eddie during the kiss.
How do you feel about those 40 minutes that got cut? Like, I could feel it. Like,
There's
no
definitely
middle to this movie.
No, it's definitely poorly paced. Those 40 minutes are gone. Tom Hardy once said that like those were some of his favorite moments, and just seeing how much fun he had with the moments we got and how much fun I had with those moments, I need to see those 40 minutes.
Like there's
If those are what the favorites are.
like he gets Venom and he eats raw tater tots and lobsters and things.
And chocolate. He likes chocolate and raw tater tots.
And then he
together.
starts fighting the other Venom, and like that's the and then the movie ends like that.
Yeah. So Riz Ahmed ends up becoming a symbiote is like host as well, whose name is Riot.
Yeah, it's Riot.
Who's like this total BA symbiote on their planet. He's got things you've never seen before is a line that Venom says.
Look, I fucking hate superhero movies.
And Venom calls himself Venom. Like his name is just Venom on his own planet.
Yeah, I thought that was weird they had names.
I was about it. It was so good. It's just so stupid.
There's this awesome line where Riz Ahmed is like standing there and like one of the test subjects, he's like testing the Venom stuff on people, and he's like, terrible design, and one of his assistants is like, what? And he's like, the human body. And it's just like so fucking cheesy.
Yeah, it's this movie is cheese, and if you're about movie cheese, this will be good. It's good. It's real bad, but it's good.
Yeah, you know, like, and even the ending, like, it's just like,
So in his face off with Riot, Riot's whole thing is he's trying to get aboard a spacecraft to get into space, to go back to his home planet, to bring more symbiotes back so they could just take over the world. He almost does it, but then, you know, Venom does his superhero thing, blows up the spaceship with him in it, but then Venom catches fire and like has to save Eddie, so he spits Eddie out into the ocean, and then he just burns up and you think he's dead. If
but
I
then he's
remember that
just
correctly.
not.
Yeah, then he's just not. Like, they don't explain how, and I don't care. Because Eddie and Michelle are talking. Michelle's like, yeah, I was the power of the suit felt really good, and that kiss, by the way, was totally Venom's idea.
And then he's just there.
And then Venom's voice shows up in the back, and he's like, little does she know, we're gonna get her back.
It's just such a, like, that's what I love about this movie is they don't need to explain anything. They don't.
It's true. I kind of like after the very end of the movie is where the Stan Lee cameo shows up, and I kind of like the Stan Lee cameo because like Venom's almost like it's almost a fourth wall break. Venom's like, who's that guy? And like, why is he important?
I hate the Stan Lee cameos. I mean,
Really?
we're gonna be real because it's like lame. Like,
It was a
natural.
weird almost. It was kind of almost a like Deadpool moment.
I feel
This-
like
this
Venom
cameo.
is like an inch away from being Deadpool. Like,
Yeah. Which doesn't sound appealing, but it really is. As a like an adaptation of a comic book, it's just trash. It's not gonna please any like fans who are just set in their ways of this needs to be how Venom is. If you're okay with just having a fun time at a movie and kind of forgetting that it's like based on a comic book character, and like you're like, oh, we're Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not in this movie. He doesn't show up.
not even mentioned. Not even
a mention. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's just so much fun. Like, I think about it, and I just had a great time at Venom.
Yeah, like this. I didn't think with when they were gonna get rid of like there was gonna be no reference to the MCU. I was like, man, this movie's gonna tank. And then I watched it and I was like, man, I was so wrong.
Like,
I need this movie.
You came to me the next day and you're like, hey, you need to see Venom. Like, you need to see this thing. And I thought you were fucking with me.
Yeah,
Because, like, no. But yeah.
like he read on Twitter about the kiss and he was like, does that actually happen? And I was, yeah, it really does. The kiss really does happen.
That was what made me want to see that movie, is because I heard Venom kissed Eddie Brock. I was like, no. And they did it. That's kind of my reaction to this whole movie. And I was like, no.
But they did it.
They did it.
Yeah, it's good. Do you have any other favorite moments or?
No, I mean, no. Like, it's kind of disappointing that Jenny Slate's only in that movie for like 10 minutes. Like, she's actually
yeah.
a funny
Yeah.
actress, and
Yeah.
like, she shows up for 10 minutes and she has no lines other than, oh, no. Like, just like lame scientist stuff.
I think it could have helped the movie. I was about to say, because Jenny Slate's character dies. A lot of people die. I was really hoping that it would kind of get that R rating, but I think it worked well with PG-13.
They pulled a lot off. I mean, they got like a lot of F words in there, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of S words. Had some bones coming out of bodies, you know, like there was a gory movie, like Venom was eating people's heads, you know, like
for sure. And I mean, before we like super wrap up here, do you want to talk about the 2 post-credit scenes that this movie has?
So we'll talk about the second one first. The second one is a scene from Into the Spider-Verse. It's like the movie that's out in December. It's just like a scene in it. I thought it was fantastic.
Makes no sense to be at the end of a Venom movie, but I was not mad about it in any way.
But it was really good, so there's like not a lot to say about it. But the first post-credit scene, Venom goes to a prison.
Yeah.
And he meets Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Who has on a clown wig.
Yeah.
And
it's really red. It's a real red wig.
And he's Carnage. And he turns to the camera and he goes, "There's gonna be carnage."
I had no idea that Woody Harrelson was going to be in the movie. I mean, it kind of makes sense. The director who did this movie also did Zombieland. So I was like, that's kind of a cool choice for a crazy symbiote character. I'm excited for a sequel. I want to see Carnage versus Venom. Mostly just because I want to see Woody Harrelson in a red wig versus Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock.
It's a bad wig.
It's so good.
And it's a bad movie, but it's
It's
also
so
very
good.
good. So would you recommend that people go out, spend their money?
I'd recommend, like, you have to know what you're going into. You have to know that this is going to be, like, on a technical side, like a poorly made film. But it's so much fun. It's like, as soon as you can, like, set aside the whole, it's not going to be the Venom movie you were thinking, but it's still a Venom movie.
Anybody thinking about a Venom movie? I mean, you really got
that's fair. That's
you really
fair.
got to ask yourself that question.
When you see it, like when you see the reviews and think it's just going to be total trash, it is. But it's like trash you want to play in. That doesn't make any sense, but it's what it is.
Huh? You know, I've never been walking down the street and said, "Oh, I love this trash."
Imagine I am Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec, and I just really want to jump in a dumpster. That's how I felt going to watch this movie.
You really take me for a loop here, Aaron. Thank you all for watching the very first episode of Welcome to StubTown. StubTown, that's the name of the show.
Goodbye from StubTown? How do you end this?
Go see Venom. Spend your money on it. It's a terrible movie. It's bad and awful, but
And there's no Spider-Man. There's no Spider-Man.
goodbye from StubTown.